I was homeless. What a weird intro into a video, isn't it? But it's the truth. It was when I was around 16, 17. I had to go through this phase. It was just roughly 2 months or something. It's not that it's been for years, but yeah, I've been at rock bottom, literally at rock bottom. And I would tell you this story. I will speak a little bit about my past. Maybe one or two people will be interested in it. So hang on. How did it start? Before I tell you about how it started, I want to tell you that as a man, regardless of what happens to you, it's always your own fault. Never point fingers at anybody. Boys can point fingers, right? Maybe women if they feel like it. Children, yeah. But men don't. Men don't say, oh, this just happened to me because of this just happened to me because of that. No. A man has his shit together, all right? So, why have I been homeless? First of all, it was a decision to leave my parents' place because it was rough back in the days. My family bond was basically not given, and it wasn't a safe haven for me, all right? Nowadays, I love my stepfather and I love my mother, and we are good, better than ever. But back in the days, awful. So it was one of those days where I had a lot of unnecessary repercussions from my parents, and I was fed up. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had so much pressure, so much unnecessary pressure, and I can say this nowadays. It wasn't necessary. A lot of those things that happened, even from my nowadays mindset, it wasn't necessary, okay? So it's understandable for me that I made this step. So what I did was I packed my bags, left my parents' place, and I went to some government institution, right? So and told them I cannot stand living with my parents anymore. It's too rough. I don't want that shit anymore. I'm done. And there was a woman working there, and she was questioning me. She was asking lots of questions. I was sitting there for an hour, two, and she's like, "All right, I will see what I got for you." And I don't know if it was the same day because vision is a little blurry, but I think it was. Yeah, it was very quickly actually that she got me. Like same day, I think same day. Yeah, same day. She got me into some home for parents for children without parents, right? Or for children that have problems with their parents at home and abuse or whatever. So I was brought there. And funnily enough, it wasn't as far away from my old place. So like 30 minutes walking from the place of my parents. So I started there, and I had an issue at that time. It was a drug issue. I was taking drugs. I didn't tell her that, and I think my parents didn't know at that time. And it wasn't just smoking weed. No, it was amphetamines and ecstasy too. Like not very good, not very good. And every once in a while, when when I had to make ends meet, I would sell some stuff as well. I think nowadays I can speak about it because yeah, it's a long time ago. Please don't catch me, police. All right. So so I was then living there in this place with the others, and then they would try to put me into some of their apartments. So I wouldn't live in the same house with them, but to have a separate apartment. And what I would do there was I was smoking weed all day long, and I can show you a picture. I found a picture of me from 2012. Even with 16, I I had some bitches. I was fucking girls there, And man, that's anyways. And so it started quite good, right? And I was feeling good. They're taking drugs there, and but at some point they figured out, right? The people from the government's institution, they figured, hey, what is Fabio doing there? Shouldn't he work? I stopped my. I had some. It was after high school, right after high school, and let me think. Yes, and then at that time I was working, or started to work in a kindergarten, right? My mom wanted me to do that. I didn't want to do that shit. The only thing I cared about was fucking girls and taking drugs. And this is what I did. So my mom wanted me to get a job, and nobody actually asked me, "What do you want to do?" But well, I didn't know actually, and so she made me do that. Mm. But at some point, I was up one weekend because I was taking drugs all weekend and didn't sleep at all. And then I was in the bus in the morning, Monday morning, driving to this kindergarten. And in the bus, I was thinking to myself, so I was sweating. I was sweating so much. And I thought to myself, I cannot go there now. I cannot take care of children, of other people right now. I didn't sleep this weekend. I was high. I'm still high on drugs. I cannot do that. So yeah, I stopped doing that, and I went home and slept. And then I went speaking to the people that of this institution, and I told them that I canceled that, right? And they were so pissed with me. Why did you do that? Da, da, da. Couldn't explain it to them. And well, then I had nothing to do, right? And so what I did was I was taking drugs all the time. Girls, drugs, girls, drugs. That was everything I cared about. And let me think, how did it happen? Yeah, at some point I was hanging around with another guy from this institution, from this place there. I would like them. We would give high fives and stuff, and we would speak. But I never hung around with them because I had my peer group. And when I decided to hang out with this one guy, Joseph was his name, um, and he told me he's smoking weed as well, and I thought, oh, we connect and everything, but figured out he doesn't. I figured out he snitched on me. So, and yeah, because of that, I wasn't allowed to take drugs, obviously. But I didn't know that I was taking more than just smoking weed, right? But because of that, so they kicked me out, and I couldn't go back to my parents at that time. So I had to figure stuff out. I don't remember actually where I put my bag. I had some junkie friends, like really junkie friends. They were living in what is it called? Some messy apartment, but not messy like in the word messy in German. There's the word messy for a person that it's like a dirty apartment full of stuff everywhere. Some trash and they wouldn't take care of their apartments of their apartment. It was two brothers. The only thing they cared about was taking drugs. So, and I was hanging around with those people then. And for a few nights, they would let me sleep there until they wouldn't for reasons. But they allowed me to leave my stuff there, and every once in a while I could go there. Um, but at some point they wouldn't let me in there. And sometimes because whatever, they had their reasons. Mm. So then was the first night for me to yeah, to not had somewhere to sleep. That was weird. I didn't think about it much. at least at the first few times, was just shrugging it away. Because in my mind, I didn't think about finding solutions to solve the issue. I was thinking about it was in surviving mode. So I had some other people of my peer group, and man, it's so weird to go back there now. So I wouldn't have to sleep all the time on the streets. So, for example, my spot that I went the first time, not the first time, most of the time, and the first time, was basically a stairway of a supermarket, Kaufland, in the city of my town. And back in the days, for whatever reason, the door, they let the door open to the stairway. And I remember going there because back in the days, my buddies and me, my peer group, we went there to drink and take drugs because it was warm in there. Because it was warm in there, right? And yeah, so I would just sleep there. And then I had some of my peers, and for example, to one guy, I could just go take a shower. Could do it like this, and so it wasn't that bad. And then it was awful. And every once in a while, somebody gave me some food or stuff. But now thinking back, the weirdest thing about it was that at that time, I didn't think about, at least at the beginning, how I can fix the situation. I was still in my mind, just thinking about, mm, okay, I'm in this situation now. And I didn't think about, I want to go out of this situation, I want to leave this situation. I think about, okay, how can I improve this situation? So then I planned for myself, okay, I get somebody to shower. Sometimes I can shower here. Maybe if his parents are not there, I can sleep there. And every once in a while, some guy let me sleep in his place for 1 or 2 days. That was good. So again, I didn't sleep on the street all the time, but most of the time. And it was awful. It was awful. And then I developed some weird paranoia that everybody knows. Then I developed a weird paranoia that I was smelling awfully. Because if you think of a homeless person, well, you think of them that they're smelly. It is what it is, right? Because, well, most of the times they are. And the town I grew up in was a very small town, right? So uh, me taking drugs combined with me being homeless developed this weird paranoia. So that I believed everybody knows, everybody's making fun of me, everybody believes that I'm smelling badly, and this was the lens for my reality. And at some point, I was accusing everybody doing that. But again, maybe there were one or two people even making a little bit of fun of me because they knew, and this just played right into my paranoia. That just played right into it. So because of that and my thoughts, I was like, okay, everybody knows, everybody hates me, everybody's making fun of me, and that was my reality then. It was rough. Yeah, and then me walking through the city, and if I looked when I looked at somebody in somebody's face, I would always see this smirk in their face that wasn't there most likely, right? Because in my mind I was accusing, and when you have those thoughts that you really believe in, this is how you change your reality, right? Nowadays, I just smile at people, for example, I get the smile back, and I know everything. Like the life is good. This is how easy it is. But if I'm badly, if I'm thinking badly in myself, and I look at other people, then I get this bad thing back because reality is basically a mirror. And yeah, but whatever. So most of the times, I figured some ways to have some drugs on me. So I wasn't that hungry. And through this time, I actually lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight because, well, for some days I wouldn't eat. I would just sniff amphetamines, and well, then I wasn't hungry. I can remember a week, or maybe five, 6, 7, let's say 5 days. I was looking back and I was asking myself, what did I eat this week? And it was an apple. Uh, yeah, but I was still in this weird sorry, in this cycle of me just thinking about drugs. And at some point in this cycle, I didn't care about women even, because yeah, sorry, sorry. I don't know, man. Uh, it was rough. Then I considered going to ask my real father if he can help me. He did a little bit, but then he didn't anymore because he had his life. He was busy with his stuff, and like I had to be so aware of people, because basically the people on the street, like the young people on the street, they didn't want to help me, and they would put me down even because they would see I'm high, I'm alone, and I think that was one of those triggers for me. Now thinking about it subconsciously, that I started learning boxing and stuff because I was threatened. It was weird because I wasn't in shape or anything. I was taking drugs and didn't eat, get thinner, homeless. Like this, like if what's the word? What's the opposite of doubt? If somebody's self belief can be broken and somebody's confidence can be broken somehow, then it is through those situations, through being homeless, through being a homeless drug addict, through being a homeless drug addict that is just coming down from his drugs, and then he has to figure out a way to get high again. Like this, yeah, is really disgusting. You know what's the worst thing nowadays? I understand it is what you send out is what you attract, and I felt awfully inside of myself. I felt so disgusting inside of me, and because of that disgusting stuff happened to me, to reinforce the idea, right? And the more nowadays, I like spiritual stuff and occult stuff, and it's just interesting to me. But it just confirms those things that the mind and the heart and visualization and manifestation, those things, and those things I learned from back in the days, they're just confirmed with those teachings I learned from nowadays. But that's another topic. But it's basically just to give you this little thing. If you feel bad on the inside, and if you feel not good, at some point it's normal because it's in nature. Look at day and night, or look at the sea of the waves. Nothing is stable. Right? The only stable thing, the only thing you can really rely on is change. Ch- Everything is changing all the time, and there's a rhythm to that. There's all if it's natural, there's a rhythm to that. Again, day and night, up and down, right? So sometimes we don't feel as good, sometimes we feel good. That's normal. But for a longer period of time, if you feel bad for a longer period of time, and you don't change that about yourself, reality is your mirror, and it will reflect what you are, and it will give you more. Right? The universe will magnify what you're feeling and multiply it. You will get more and more and more. And I was in there, bruv. The worst situation for me was my biggest trauma, I believe, is Then at some point, I don't know how this happened. I don't remember. Some guys invited me to take drugs with them, and I was like, yeah, why not? And they had a car, and they had a huge bag of amphetamines, and they told me I can take as much as I want, and I did. And I was up again for a few days, and this is weird stuff happened. I don't want to go into detail. It was they had bad intentions with me. They didn't hurt me physically, but emotionally and mentally, psychologically, they did something to me, and it was on purpose. I found out later. It was some weird whatever. It's not that important. What important is sorry, I lost it. That yeah. Then they took me with them, let me take their drugs, treated me awfully, and after being 3 days up, everybody went home, and I thought maybe I can sleep at one of their places. Then they told me to leave the car for a moment. They left. So I was up 3 days. They uh, tortured me, and then I was left on the street. And yeah, it was daytime, and yeah, and then falling in this hole again. That was rough. Yeah. Anyway, at some point, to come to an end, I changed everything. Like where it started, I was sleeping in this staircase thingy again, and I was rolling the thingy to clean the feet, right? And oh no, there was something else I forgot. At some point, I would go back to this place for the children that had an awful situation with their family, and I knocked the door. I was like, can I please sleep here just tonight? It's so cold outside. It was snoring. Snow was that big. Everything was cold. It was snoring. And then he was going inside. And after 1 minute, he came back and was like, nope, maybe 3 minutes. Nope, but here's a banana for you. And then he gave me a piece of paper to to go to, because there are places for people that don't have a place to sleep. But the issue was that this particular night, I didn't have money with me, and I would have needed to take a bus to go there because it was in another city, and that wasn't possible for me. And then I told him that, and then he told me, "Oh, that's your problem." And then he closed the door, and yeah, that was it for me. And then I'll just go back to mm, yeah, to this thingy where I would sleep, and in the staircase. And then again, I would roll this thingy where other people would clean their feet on because it was snowy. Then this wet thingy on the floor, and then use it as a pillow. And this was like the first night where really I cried, bro. Like, I cried so much. I cried. And sorry, yeah, I cried. And then this was the first time when I really hit rock bottom. I was done with everything. Then I thought to myself, all right, um, I don't want that anymore. Before that, I was always thinking to myself, how can I improve it? Okay, I have somebody here to shower, and when his parents are not there, maybe they give me food, and maybe I can shower here if I ask, like, and then here I can charge my phone, like those plans. I had my spots, right? And but in the essence of things, I was alone, right? And yeah, then I spoke to somebody about it, and his mother was very kind. His whole family was very kind-hearted with me, and then I could sleep there for some while. And yeah, I can remember when I was sleeping at his place, I was asking all the time, bro, do I smell badly? My brain was so fucked. I can remember I was asking all the time, bro, do I stink? Because I couldn't trust my nose anymore. Because for me personally, I would smell all the time. I would smell all the time, and I had fear of looking other people in the eyes. My confidence was at -100, and his mother would give me food, and I couldn't look at her because I, I had so much shame inside of me, and she was so kind and grateful. No, she was so kind with me, and I was actually so grateful, but I had shame. And then sometimes I would ask myself, well, is he playing with me? Is there something in the food? Will something bad happen to me if I eat that? And because it was at that point, it was hard for me to trust in people because it was rough. It was rough. It was awful. But anyway, it felt so good to being able to sleep there. And I was sleeping in some sandbag, right? To usually you can sit in them, and I was sleeping in there, and it was good because it was warm, bro. It was warm. I was sleeping in a room, and not a smelly room, not a dirty room, a normal room with a body of mine. And yeah, every once in a while, his mom gave us food, and we would smoke joints together. And yeah, when I was at his place, it was basically me doing a withdrawal. Stop taking amphetamines. And when you do a withdrawal of drugs, you go through hell. I went through hell while having -100 confidence. And then after some while, I had a bit more energy. I was basically like an animal that you see on the street, like a bird that you can see on the street, and the bird cannot fly anymore. And then you take this bird home, and you leave it there in the warm and give it food and something to drink until it can fly. Stuff like that. And then I couldn't stay there anymore, and I would ask randomly my best friend from kindergarten. Nowadays we don't have contact because I was weird with him. I was weird with him, but yeah, there was some truth in it. But I was weird with him anyway. And he wasn't just my best friend in kindergarten. He was we would spend a lot of we spent a lot of time in high school, but he was in a different high school than I've been. But we enjoyed each other's company. We liked each other a lot. We share the same weird humor. we, yeah, good man. And then at some point, while I was there, his mom called my mom because they knew each other. They have the same name, by the way. And yeah, then my mom was sitting in their kitchen at some point, and I was upstairs. I'm not sure if they told me. I think she told me, and then I don't know. Like so, we somehow reconnected, man. And yeah, it was super distant, very very distant. And again, back in the days, my stepfather, my mom were pointing fingers at me all the time. You are the problem. You are the problem. But in 2021, my mom gave me this call of Fabio, I'm sorry. You were not the problem all the time. Now I understand. And she cried, and we had a really long conversation on the phone, right? But the story I was referring to was at 2012. or 2012. So I was 16 or 17. And yeah, after this, it was still distant, and I was the ass all the time and everything. But again, that's another story. This is it. And yeah, weird to speak about it because, opening all those things on the past, it hurts, bro. But yeah, something that I learned from that is you are not what happens to you. A man isn't what happened to him. A man is what he decides to become. Right? It's all about decisions. And there are a lot of people. And let's not speak about people. Let's speak about men. There are a lot of men nowadays. They like to play the victim, and they when they play the victim card, they are the thief of their own destiny. Let's say it like this, all right? Because if you play the victim card, you point fingers at everybody else, and you can blame everybody else, and life is hard, and you. But if you point fingers at everybody else, you give your power away, right? And then you say, and then those men say stuff like, "Oh, it's always happening to me," blah 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 blah. And somehow they're too lazy or not aware enough about the fact that they can change literally everything. Bro, I've been homeless. I've been a homeless drug addict. And I turned my life around, right? I turned my life around to make a shitload of money at some point. I was living so good. Like, I was living in penthouse apartments. I was living in a duplex apartments. Um, I had so many women by my side. Bro, I've been some kind of a playboy, for those that don't know. That's why I was a dating coach after that, because, man, I fucked so many women. Like, my life turned out to be great. I fought Muay Thai in the biggest stadium of Bangkok, in Rajadamnern Stadium. Like, I turned my life around from literally being a homeless drug addict. And if I can do it, you can do too, right? But yeah, if you in your own version of darkness right now, and you need somebody that understands this darkness, I'm the one, right? If you need a coach, if you need somebody that kicks your ass every once in a while, there's a link down below, my friend. That's your possibility to have a free call with me. And I call this program the Alchemy of Will. Because alchemy is basically turning lead into gold. But let's not look at it physically. Let's look at it spiritually, psychologically, right? We can turn our bad behaviors, our bad habits, our bad thoughts, we take them, we form them into good ones. We improve our lives, make ourselves the best version out of ourselves we can be. And again, if you need help with that, reach out. Stay strong. See you on the next one. Thank you for listening.